Thanks for watching our weekly high school football chat. We're in the playoff edition here. I'm Fox 23 Sports Director Nathan Thompson. He's the Tulsa World's Barry Lewis. And Barry, this is our season finale. We're wrapping it up here because most of the team seasons that we cover are ending this week if they haven't already.
Yes, while area teams dominate 6A1 and 6A2, it wasn't so good in the other classes below that. Just 3 or 4 left in the area. So. Which is sort of different this year. I mean, usually we're talking about Wagner and Oologah playing in the 4A championship game, and usually there's a team in the 5A title game from this area. But and I really thought this year that there would be a team from this area in the 2A title game, but Holland Hall lost a heartbreaker last week at Davis, a very tough place to play. So it's basically just 6A and hardly anything after that.
Just a couple of teams, and we'll talk about them too, that are still playing, that could maybe possibly be playing next week if they win Friday night. Let's take a look at your column from the Tuesday edition of the Tulsa World that has your top 5 games for metro area teams. And we start with number 1, and that's Class 6A1. And I mean, what a matchup here. Union versus Owasso for the state title and a rematch of a double overtime thriller in the regular season.
Yes, I mean, this is the game that everyone has been waiting for, the rematch. Everyone had expected this, and it's happened. These two teams that played a double overtime thriller that Union won in week 5, and a lot of people are expecting a similar type game this time around, and why not? I mean, they're both have been so impressive on the road after that game to get to this point. Last 3 years in the 6A1 championship game has been won by the team that lost the regular season meeting between the two teams. So that would point towards Owasso winning this one. But Union, I remember visiting with their players in the spring, and they really, even though they won the state title last year and they were all pumped up about that, obviously, and thrilled by that, they really wanted to have a perfect record this year. That would really give them a special spot in Union's tradition-rich history because hardly anyone goes undefeated in 6A these days. They would only be the second team in 15 years or so to do that. So it's such a blockbuster matchup. It's going to be great at TU on Friday night.
So impressive a matchup here. Maybe we'll get as good of a game as we got in the regular season. Of course, you said Union trying to defend that state title. Owasso going for its first state title since 1974 and their first, untied state title because they actually co-won that with Ada that year. So be interesting. It'll be their only, solo state title if they win Friday night. Class 6A2 is your number 2 game, Booker T versus Bixby. Another rematch in this one. This game is going to be played Friday night at 7 at Jinx High School. That Union Owasso game is at TU.
Yes, Booker T won the regular season meeting 21-0 over Bixby, totally dominated, and I expect them probably to win by 3 touchdowns this time around. But Bixby, there's a reason why they've won 3 straight state championships. They just are so prepared at this time of the year. And 2 years ago, Bixby got shut out 20-0 by Sand Springs late in the regular season. Then they won the championship game over that same Sand Springs team, 38-28. So it's possible if any team can, in this situation, can knock off Booker T. Washington, it would be Bixby because they've been there, done that. There's a reason why they've won the 3 straight gold balls. So that could be. I'm going to pick Booker T. Washington, pretty solid favorite. But again, it wouldn't surprise me if Bixby found a way to really hang close and have a chance to win late against the Hornets.
So that's it for Class 6A1 and 6A2. You mentioned there are a couple of teams, area teams, still going in some of the smaller classes, and your number 3 game is one of those teams, 3A semifinal, Beggs taking on Sulphur.
Yes, Beggs has been very impressive so far in the playoffs. They're looking for their first trip to the state championship in 40 years, and I think they're going to get it, but I'm picturing a low-scoring game against Sulphur, a really grind-them-out, traditional playoff-type football game against Sulphur, and in the end, I'm going to make Beggs a 1-point favorite.
They're playing that game in Edmond at Wolves Stadium. And your 4th game is in the Class B semifinals. Depew, undefeated, taking on Laverne, ranked number 1 and undefeated. Depew is number 3. This game is in Enid. So Depew has been really impressive in the postseason, but Laverne is that's a tough draw.
Laverne's the defending champion. They have no weaknesses. They have a size advantage over Depew, and that may be tough for Depew to overcome. Has potential to be a great game. but I think Laverne's probably got just a little bit too much.
And your number 5 game, Class A semifinals, Afton, ranked number 1 and undefeated, taking on Thomas. Thomas ranked 9th, so you actually think this is a little bit of an easier matchup for Afton than even last week.
Sometimes in the playoffs, just the way that the pairings get drawn up, your tougher matchups can occur in the earlier rounds, and I think that Afton cleared a big hurdle last week, winning at Minco convincingly. Will Amos, their quarterback, had a great game, and Thomas has had about the easiest road you could have to get to the semifinals, playing 3 unranked opponents, not disrespecting any of their opponents because Morrison gave them a great game last week, but Thomas hasn't played a ranked team yet in the playoffs, so their charmed life in the playoffs will probably end Friday.
And that's it for the top 5 metro area games from Barry's column in the Tuesday edition of the Tulsa World. Don't forget, coming up this week, on Friday, pick up a Tulsa World in the morning. You'll get previews of all of these great games. And then Barry, you're going to be at the Union Owasso game. Mike Brown is going to be at the Booker T. Bixby game. So make sure you pick up a paper on Saturday to get their stories about those huge matchups. Always have great photos and scores and wrap-ups from other games in the area. And don't forget to go to okprepsextra.com. It's a great website that Tulsa World puts on for high school sports. Us here at Fox 23, we're going to have coverage Friday night at 6 and 10 of the big matchups, the state finals. And hopefully they're over by 10:20 when our sports hits, because sometimes these games are long. But we'll have highlights definitely of both the 6A1 and 6A2 playoffs, state title games. And you can always go to fox23.com to our high school football page. If you don't get a chance to see it in the 10 o'clock news, you can watch the highlights later online. Thanks for watching. This is our season finale.
Yes, Nathan, I just want to say it's been great working with you again, joining you again this year on Facebook Live and on the Friday night show. It's been fun, and hope we can do it again.
Yeah, it's been great. We always love partnering up with the Tulsa World. We've been doing this for a few years now. It really helps out our coverage, and I think it's great to have so many 2 organizations that pay so much attention to high school football team up. So thanks as always. Great working with Barry, and thanks for watching.